Alrighty guys, today I am doing a tutorial on how to build a rocket that can get into orbit, and then my next video will be how to get into orbit, for all of those who don't know how to make a rocket to get in orbit, or don't know how to get in orbit with the rocket. So first we're going to start off here by getting rid of these default pieces, because we don't need them at all. Alright, so we're going to talk about a few things while we're in the middle of building our rocket. So we're going to go to structural, we're going to get a fuel tank, put it right under that command pod. And we're going to shorten it a little bit, because that fuel tank, that stage specifically right there, does not need to be that big at all. You don't need much fuel on that stage at all. So I like to usually just keep it however much fuel it has already, default. And then we'll pull out the mage engine, put it down. And now what we're going to right here is where I'm pushing analyze performance on it. Now what that does is that if you scroll down on the right, that lets me know your thrust to rate ratio. And your thrust to rate ratio, it always needs to be above 1. If it's below 1, then your craft will not lift. So that's why I like to set the altitude for Drew, which is Earth, down to 0, or down to vacuum, because this stage will be in the vacuum in outer space. You want to make sure the thrust ratio is always over 1. I usually like to go about from 1.34, somewhere around there, to 1.4 something, anything around that level. 2.0 thrust rate ratio is a little overkill. You could save some fuel with that, but otherwise I like to keep it about 1.3. And as you can see on the right with the throat nozzle size, you can adjust that to get your thrust to rate ratio the way you want it. Alright, so let's just give it a second here. So now we're going to, now that we have that stage done, we're going to get a enter stage. I'm going to put it right on the middle of that engine. I'm going to resize it a little just so it fits the engine, which it usually fits it perfectly fine. And then we're going to get another fuel tank right after this. I'm going to press it right under that enter stage. And then this one we're going to make pretty long. This stage is going to have a lot of fuel. It's going to be pretty long fuel tank, alright? As you can see, I like to keep it around 27 to 30 meters long, as you can see on the top. Just made it a little longer, and then as you see in a second here, I'd go ahead and grab the same mage engine, because we can optimize the engine to have its the perfect optimization for it. So here I push analyze performance, go down to drill. This time I'll keep it around 20 to 30 kilometers, and then that's when I'll go ahead and scroll down to my staging analyze, and then I'll go to stage 1. And you see the starting thrust to weight ratio. I don't know what it's at right now, but I'd like to keep it right, same thing, around 1.34 or 1. So probably 1.3 to 1.5. As you can see, which it looks like it's not enough. It's not powerful enough. It's not how powerful I want it. So what I do is I change the power cycle. As you can see, I'm doing on the left. I change it to staged, I believe, yes. And that what that does is that makes the engine a little more powerful. So and then you can see the thrust to weight ratio going up. And then I'm pretty sure I will probably throw the nozzle throat size. I'll go ahead and bring that down just so I can get the thrust to weight ratio the way that I want it. So if your engine is never power enough, you can always change the power cycle to get the right amount of power that you want. Now that's where I wanted to put the right amount of power, and there's your rocket. Now what we're going to do is we're going to push the staging button right on the left, and we're going to make sure our stages are fine. So we're going to check the first stage, which should be that first engine that you see down there. There you go, mage engine right there. And then our second stage would be, see right, there you go, mage engine. And then that second stage should be that enter stage right above it. That detaches that first stage right there. And then our third stage would be that second engine that we put up there in the top. That would be in the vacuum. Alright. there's our rocket. Now you have built a rocket that can get into orbit. Later in my next video, I will be showing you guys how to get into orbit with this rocket. So stay tuned for that. It is not hard at all. It's a great tutorial. It will be coming out in a few days. Thank you.